Guys, KUDO Mal. Oh my God. This looks like I've got a handlebar moustache. Anyway, in a few hours now, Lawrence is going to start the David Goggins challenge, which is running 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, and he's doing it for the dojo. So we are very much a team, so we're jumping on board to help him. These guys are going to be joining in now. There's Ben. Ben's in.
Yes, Ben.
I'm in.
Thank God. Thanks, Kim.
Apologies, I've literally just murdered a 15-inch pizza in about 10 minutes, honestly.
Just warmed it up.
Don't lie, you had errands. Kim said you had errands. You had to finish them up first.
It's my carbs for tomorrow, mate.
Right, just the first 15-inch meat feast you've had on a weekend, Ben, I'm sure.
I'll have to agree, mate, to be fair.
We're all filming and stuff. Right, so welcome, gentlemen. This is going to be the start. So this is the pre-interview. Lawrence is at the top left of my screen. I don't know where he is on yours, but how is everybody feeling so far?
Yeah, good.
Very good indeed. Got everything set up. Wife's going to let me go to sleep early.
Oh, she's good to you.
Well, she don't let me normally, does she?
That's nice. I got to ask.
Are you going to get any sleep, though? Are you going to get any sleep at all? Are you going to be too nervous for it?
Oh, I'm not nervous.
So we've got, obviously, in our group, Lawrence is doing the whole thing. It's his fundraiser, and obviously we're jumping on board to support. Kieran's doing the majority of the event as well, starting on the second day, so in the 24 hours. And the rest of us are going to be doing stints and making sure that we look after everybody during the event. But Lawrence, so for anybody that hasn't got on board so far, right? I mean, how did this come about? You know, you finding this challenge, and you know, what was the mindset behind it?
So basically, for anyone who didn't know, obviously I was training in KUDO before all the lockdown kicked off, and I was running as well at the same time to lose weight. And then ultimately it became, you know, quite a passion of mine as we went into lockdown and stuff like that. Training outside and sort of the virtual training, I just really couldn't get on board with. So ultimately I ended up leaving KUDO as such at that time. I missed it. You all know the story. I missed it. So ultimately I thought it right that when I was coming back, I'd use running to help fund the club that not so much I left, but I distanced myself from to pursue the running. But it was just like a dramatic irony. I told Kieran about it and said, you know, do you think this would be a good idea?
You come running back, basically. Is that what you're saying? You come running back.
So there was a whole lot of guilt involved in this then.
There's loads. Like I say, I've always been a fat guy. I've always been a big fat fella. And I always like doing the things that people go, oh, you shouldn't do that. Or you can't do that. So for me, it was, you know, what's the stupid idea running 48 hours? And ultimately, I'm doing triathlons and I'm looking to do ultra marathons and stuff like that, as well as training with all of you weirdos. So
just on top of that,
with that one.
So you've done, you know, what's the preparation been to this point? What have you been doing?
So I was training basically like a 3-day split. I was running different things. You'd have one long run, which is quite common, and then 2 shorter runs. That led up to around December time. I ended up with an Achilles injury. It all inflamed, and every time I ran, it felt like it was shearing off. All swelled up, big lump in the back of my foot, so I couldn't run. Around February time, I started running again, so I'd start almost from the beginning. So I was only running, you know, 3s, 5s, started doing some 10Ks again, building up. I took my wife out for her first run, which was an 8-miler.
You make it sound like you took it on lead.
With the neck.
She's a better runner than I am. That's the humorous thing. Like you see her running, she finishes, she's like, oh, that was hard. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I'm just laying on the floor, holding my legs. She's out the kitchen, carrying on, putting the washing on.
You want to run with AJ? AJ just says, I go, do you want to come for a run with me, AJ? He goes, yeah. I see him for about 3 minutes of a 25-minute run.
It's no
used
me
to be
running
when we-
backwards, or I'm panting and breathing heavy behind him.
It was the outdoor sessions down the nap. It's like, right, everyone warm up. And everyone was doing press-ups because they'd finished, and then there'd be me running at the back with a few of the others.
Yeah, me.
Come a long way, mate.
I'm not naming anyone.
So, Lauren, you know, this is it now. We're at, you know, literally hours away now, and you're going to be going home to sleep. And you know, the first two legs, Ben's going to join you. I'm going to meet up there with you guys. But I mean, how are you feeling now? Because obviously you've done your prep. You're feeling a bit nervous now. It's all coming down to it.
No, not too much. The nervous side of things, like for me, it's breaking it down. You know, I've got to run 4 miles. That's all I've got to run is the first 4 miles. Then, you know, a couple of hours later, after I've had a bit of food and a coffee, I'll run another 4.
Yeah.
For me, it's just breaking down instead of looking at 48 hours of sleep deprivation and suffering. It's 4 miles.
Now you're
Just take
thinking
it.
about it.
Just 4 miles.
Just take it one at a time.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
you've got-
we spoke to Reese. Obviously, you interviewed Reese as well.
Yeah.
And that guy's an animal. They're absolute savages that people are doing these things, and that's their rationale. You're racing from checkpoint to checkpoint.
Yeah.
If you can break it down into those manageable steps, much like you do in KUDO, you break down the full picture into manageable chunks to make that big picture.
Yeah.
So it applies to everything. It's just being able to break that down, and hopefully, you know, everyone taking part, even the guys like you guys. You don't run. The majority of you aren't runners. You can run.
What makes you think that?
Kieran's next to me. Kieran's by here on my screen. I don't know who that is on yours.
Well, have less of that, mate.
But he was just like, yeah, I'll run it. Yeah, it's fine. And he phoned me. He was like, I've just been out for 3 miles now. Yeah, it sucked.
Well, one thing that AJ said today was like, you can tell him, Age, what you said about running your legs with him.
Sir?
So, right, AJ, this is over to you now, right? You ready? When we were talking about going for you're going to support Lawrence on 2 runs, and
Yeah.
yeah. So, tell him what you thought it was happening.
I thought I was just gonna like obviously start with you, and I was just gonna run off. Basically.
Great support, mate.
Chase me.
The reality is, that's not a bad thing. If everyone's doing
what's your advice to AJ Law, because he's gonna, I suppose he's just gonna be in slow-mo, isn't he? When, you know, for him. But you were talking, you said shuffling, didn't you? You said something like that.
Yeah, if you watch, you know, obviously the more elite runners, when they're doing long things, their pace is amazing. For me, I'm trying to get a consistent run, because this is going on to longer things. So for me, I want to try sort of keep that heart rate right down and just manage at every run. If I can keep a pace, you know, 11, 12 minutes, something like that, 12-minute miles. For me, that's where I want to be. If I can keep that comfort up, in August, I've got a 50-mile run. So that's where I'm looking at this, is how far will the legs carry if I keep that heart rate down.
Yeah.
If I'm comfortable towards the end, I can start bringing that pace up. But the worst thing I can do is running, you know, 8 and 9 minute miles, and then just ruin the legs. Because for me, I'm a heavy guy. You know, the knees, the ankles, they're going to take a battering. And that 3-hour sit down might seem like a gift, but it's also a curse. Because that's where that stiffness is going to come in. That's where that swelling is going to build, you know?
Yeah. So what you're saying is I need to get a harness on, AJ. Ski behind
a toboggan, yeah.
I reckon that's for a harness.
Yeah.
So obviously, being a support vehicle, Carl, if we see if you're covering AJ's version of this run, then you might want to knock him over.
Yeah, that's the same. Throw back of the leg, slow him down.
You
should do it. I mean, like I never realized the support I was going to get. Like when you got on board and Mal reached out and was like, oh, you know, AJ wants to do a bit and the boys want to help out. Kieran's stupid. He was always going to be like the dog who just runs around going, yeah, I'll do it.
This is before he had glasses now. Do you think he'd do the same thing now? He's wearing glasses?
No, I think I would have changed my mind if I got these soon.
It's good. I think a few of you are going to get more into it than you realise.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. Like I started running, and my first run was at like 17 minutes for 1 mile, and I thought my soul was going to end. And then every time you started going a bit further, all of a sudden you're like, how far can I go? And in the end, like I had to have an intervention with a friend of mine.
An intervention?
Came down. Yeah, I swear to God.
Like an enema.
I swear to God. He came down.
Stop running, I'm trying to speak to you.
My prostate's fine either.
I wasn't eating enough. So what happened was my body started shutting down. So like every time I got up off the sofa, like I had to stand there for like 30 seconds because I was like proper bad. Yeah. And he came down and was like, your body is going to leach from your bones and you are going to be in severe trouble. Yeah. So, I had to get sensible with it. And injury came as a result, I think, to be honest with you, of that, my body wasn't fit enough to keep up with what I was trying to do to it. So big lesson out there. People need to listen to the people like yourselves who've been in different games and different industries a long time, because you do know what you're talking about.
Well, you don't.
But it's like you said, like since starting to run, like I've never run before in my life. Like I've never gone, right, I'm going to go for the run and do 5K or whatever. But since starting, it's like I'm actually enjoying it. So it's just like I'm looking at it like whatever I do. So doing the second day, I'm just training for 6 hours. Like I've done that in karate, I've done that in KUDO. When we go traveling, we do that all weekend. So in my mindset, I'm just training for 6 hours. That's it. So, but I am enjoying the running. But that's because you basically got me on board. Do you know what I mean? Like this lockdown, we haven't been able to train together. So this is our way to connect ourselves with each other by setting these challenges. So yeah. Thanks for that.
Oh, that's sweet. It's true. Do you know, like I did taekwondo years ago before I met you guys.
Taekwondo.
There was a lady there called Pat, Trisha Shaw, and she runs ultra marathons and stuff. And I used to look at her and think, nah, not a million years. And then as time went by, like I worked races for a gym I trained at, and they were ultra races. And you'll see these guys coming through like old men, and you're thinking, what the hell? And they're doing 100 miles.
Yeah. And so you're saying there's hope.
No, it's the will, I think. Like in KUDO, it's about having the drive, isn't it? In the gradings, you see people getting pummeled by 2-3 blokes at a time, and it's about standing your ground and using your head under pressure. And like the ultra seems to be a lot about that. I don't know. I'm not experienced enough to really comment as such yet. But like you see these people and it's planned. They know every stop. They know the route. They know where they're going to put in food and drink. And everything's planned. And when they're under that pressure and their brain's not working, you see them come alive. And it's an interesting thing. And that's why I've got a bit of passion for it. Because it is that sort of willing your way through something, and using what you've learned and everything you've trained for to overcome any obstacle that comes at it and overcome it. And that's why I like that crossover between the KUDO mentality and the run. It's that time in your head to work these things out and make sure you execute it perfectly.
Would you say it's more a mental thing or a physical thing then? Because your body can do things, but your mind's not willing to accept it. Doesn't matter how fit you are, you'll never get through it, will you? So would you say it's more mental or physical for you tomorrow?
I haven't run far enough, and I wouldn't pretend to be anywhere near the top of where these people are. The likes of Reese and people are outstanding. But just my experience running, these distances at the moment, which I'm nowhere near 100 miles yet. But for me, it is a bit of both. Like it's easy. Anyone going out for any run, or even if you're training, might go, I tell you what, I'll do 19 press-ups. And no one's going to know. No one around you is going to know. When I'm running at 4 a.m, no one's going to know if I walked. But it's that discipline and that sort of commitment to yourself.
You're not cheating yourself, are you?
No. And everyone does that in everyday life, don't they? Everyone looks and everyone's got that option of, oh, I tell you what, I won't put that back, or I haven't got a paint by there in your case.
I will paint behind the door.
But everyone wants a shortcut.
Guys, we've got a bit of feedback going on. Has anybody got more than one device open?
No.
No.
Okay, just checking out noise.
Everyone looks for a shortcut, don't they?
Yeah.
Everyone wants that, and like for me, coming from my background to come into the club is something I never want to do again. So for me, it's my accountability now. Like I told you earlier, Mal, I hate cameras. I hate this. I hate trying to take the videos. But it's the accountability. Everyone knows now I'm running 48 hours. So I can't fail, and I won't fail the club, and I won't fail because I believe in it. Like Reece said before, it's that selfish desire of the reason for me doing it is also the reason I can't stop doing it.
Is that why you started to raise money? Because you're selfish?
I think so.
Yeah, people can spin anything around, can't they? Though? But I mean, just looking at it, I think obviously from our point of view, our strength is us as a group, right? And you're very much not doing this alone, Lol. And I guess right now this is the only time this is going to be rational in your mind. And Ben's going to be hitting the first two legs. He's turned himself into a bit of a machine. Through COVID, he's like, right, I got a chance to make this Superman shape. So the beast of Ben the bomber, you got the first two. How are you feeling about doing this, and what's going through your mind?
I'm excited. I think everybody knows I do like a run. I'm listening to some of the comments that have been made from my experience of running. I definitely think it's a mental thing. I think as long as you're of some a reasonable fitness level, it's definitely more mental. I've been injured on runs, and it's that mentality. You're going to stop, or you're going to carry on, and I think that's the hardest part, definitely. But I'm really excited for tomorrow morning. I'm not really excited about getting up, I'll be honest. But at the same time, I'll enjoy it. I know I will. And although it's an awkward time, I'm sure it'll be a nice time to run. To be honest, it's going to be fresh. It's going to be chilly, but I'm happy to be helping Lawrence and the club as well. That's the main thing to me. And the times are relevant. Whatever time I'm needed, I'd be there to support all of us. It's the team effort at the end of the day. And for Lawrence, like how he's supporting us, I'd always be there to support him. So 3 o'clock's lovely, mate. Not a problem.
I'll be up.
Yeah, I totally disagree.
You're driving,
I don't think
mate.
anybody should be here. I mean, milkmen, that's about the only people, and postmen, right? The rest of them, if you're out there that time, if I was a copper, I'd pull you over. I'd be like, what are you doing? Get home, get to bed. This is not the time to be out.
So
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to start at 12, because I didn't want to be going there, starting at 3 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what I mean? That's just a bad time to be getting up to start something.
My question then. Do you know, AJ and Ben, I know you both. You're both very competitive.
Oh.
Do you think you're both going to stop?
Ooh.
Mate, being quite honest, no chance. I'm not even going to lie. Absolutely no chance. 4 miles, no way.
I don't mean 4.
No, don't, Ben. He's trying to get in your head. He's done it with me.
No, I am competitive, mate,
Abort.
but I can't, unfortunately, my work commitments on Monday mean my brain would not be able to process.
I'm sick.
I like the way he calls Kim his work commitments on Monday. Yeah, actually, put Kim on.
I wish it was only that, mate, to be honest. But
and then, so you're doing the first 2. AJ's then jumping on board for the next 2, right? Lawrence, I don't think because I've run with AJ, and I don't think you're going to be mentally prepared for this yet. It's not just the running off bit that gets to you. It's like the look of just ease. He's like a paper aeroplane. Do you know what I mean? He just floats through the air, and he looks at you like, "Hi, come on, enjoy."
No effort.
So you're
what's
going to
your
be
problem? Looking behind him.
You'll be about 10 miles. No, you'll be 8 miles in, won't you? Then when you get the fresh AJ's face. So,
I think it's funny. Like a lot of my friends are like proper runners, So
AJ
anytime.
don't have that.
Oh, go and move, boss, mate.
That's a jab, that, isn't it?
Mate, anytime you go out with him, like I'm a big dude, and you see him like bounce. Do you know when you see a deer in the meadow, and it doesn't even look like it's touching the floor, and it just sails away into the distance?
Yeah, but that's when a lion kind of takes it and rips its neck out, isn't it? That's like me ice skating.
Carl in the car.
I'm more like the tortoise. I just crawl along, minding my business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say forward progression is still forward progression, or how fast or slow you go. As long as you keep going forward, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It's all about the shuffle.
All about that, Carl.
All about the shuffle.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that by the time I'm running with you, Laura, you are going like snail pace, so I can plod along with you having a heart attack. So there you go, it's good.
Don't worry, I got the first aid kit. It's fine.
You got the first aid kit, no mouth to mouth, right? They've taken that off. They've taken it off. Defib, innit?
Don't lead to the nipples.
You leave them bad boys alone.
Knee support's a priority.
So any you guys got any specific questions about Lawrence? Because I mean, we're only talking, if you think about what we just discussed, there's only the very first part, isn't it? By the time, he gets through, to the late at night. And Laura, you were talking about how eating at because I'd never really thought about this until you mentioned it, but about keeping the normality of your routine up and eating at the times that your body would be used to eating.
Yeah,
it's not changing that. So that's going to be a big part, isn't it, of what you're...
It's something I've heard a few times now. Like I say, this will be sort of the most I've run over that period of time. So for me, it's newish territory. Well, it's fresh territory for me. But a lot of the guys, luckily, I've trained with are quite experienced and stuff, and they've all said that. They said, like, if you're running sort of early in the morning, you don't usually eat. Try eat around the same time as you would usually eat, and sort of the same sort of foods as well that you would eat, because your body's more likely to tolerate them.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, there's nothing worse. Like, I've been on like 18-mile run, and about 9 miles in, you're trying to put in like gels and stuff like that because you feel a bit crap, and all of a sudden your body's trying to reject it. So it comes out of one of either end. So there's nothing better than a farmer driving past you in the field. It's true, and everyone who's been there knows it as well. Yeah. It happens.
What do you think they put sinks next to toilets normally? You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with washing your hands, is it?
No, I'm intrigued to find out. I'm looking forward to the mental challenge of putting up with Kieran for 24 hours.
Hey, well, Joe, hopefully you can back me up on this one, but you usually know when Kieran hasn't eaten and he's running low on fuel because he gets a bit stressed, a bit
angry, yeah.
Snickers, bring the Snickers.
Fucking hell, so much.
So,
I got my food sorted.
What are you going to do to carry his bottom lip with you for like the hour that he hasn't eaten?
He'd be fine. He was going to do the 48.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not.
No, have you ever run a marathon?
No, I haven't.
Because 24 hours is near enough marathon.
Yeah, I know.
You're running 24 miles.
Yeah. I'm training 6 hours in a day, mate.
But I mean, on that thing though, you are like obviously being a tradesman. You're on the go all the way through. Do you think that's gonna help you out?
Yeah, I think so. Like I think my legs will carry me. I walk more than that in a day anyway. Do you know what I mean? If I was working and training, I'd probably do it anyway, sort of thing.
Yeah. So,
or close to it. So I think my legs will get me there. It's just whether my mood will.
Yeah. Well, so I'm just wondering about, because obviously this is going to have an impact on the juniors in the club, hopefully, because I was talking to Amy earlier on, Kian. I was saying to her that when I've done all these charity kind of endurance events and stuff like that, and people usually focus on what finance it brings in, how much money it brings in, but from my experience, the awareness of what you raise is, you can't put a price on that, and I think that these kids that are inspired, like I love the you know, when you see the kids, you know, if you're lucky enough to have the kids in the club, like, you know, like Ben and the key, you know, with Jake, and it just kind of lifts you. And I bet Jake wants to do this run as well, probably, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, Jake's going to be coming. Jake's going to be coming with me.
So he's there now,
for,
isn't he? He's like stuck to the side of you, isn't he?
So
where is he?
So Jake's going to be coming with me to do.
Yes, Jakey.
To stay with Lawrence, Lawrence's for the 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then he can come out on the road with us, and he can put in the miles as well.
Cool.
So
nice.
He's been buzzing for it. He wanted me to do the 48 just so he could stay at Lawrence's for 48 hours.
No, he wanted to see you in pain, mate.
Yeah. Did you?
Huh?
Want to see me in pain?
Yeah.
Oh. I love his honesty.
So they're why we do it, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
like that's the truth of it. Like we're all sort of bigger blokes, and sort of we're all a bit long in the tooth. But when you see the kids sort of in the club, and you see like the little girl or something, and they're stood there getting hammered in the sort of body armor, and then all of a sudden she'll throw a kick out, and you see a big grin come across her face, like, Jesus, I've just done that.
You're on about Annabelle, aren't you? Yeah.
It makes it worth it, doesn't it? It's that confidence, that switch triggers. It goes, I don't have to keep letting this boy hit me.
Yeah.
And like that just transfers then, like Steve's work with all the judo kids when we used to see them as well. Yeah. And you see that sort of switch in their head where it all makes sense.
Well, it was funny. It was funny that you come across, like what you said on the last video. Do you know what I mean? That you've seen like this situation where two kids were bullying one kid, and like you've seen that when you're preparing for the run that you're gonna do, which is connected obviously with the dojo. So
you know, I'm not gonna lie to you all. Like this is
lie then.
This is recorded, yeah, and I took about 4 different takes of that video.
Did you?
Because I just honestly, like, it felt false. It felt like too good to be true. I know that sounds terrible for the kid. But
you put a kick in as well, did you?
Yeah, it did. But it's true, man. Like, I was walking across and I didn't have my glasses because I was running, and I could hear like all this like swearing. I was like, where's that coming from?
Yeah. And
all you could see was like a little shadow. And I was like, what the hell is that? And there's these 2 kids like literally kicking this kid in the face and stamping him. And, you know, as an adult, that ain't happening. You know, there's 2 types of people in the world. There's someone who will run past and think, it's not me, it's them.
Yeah.
And then there's a person who stands there, no matter what the situation, who goes, no, not today. And that's why we train, is so we can stop and make a difference. And just going over and splitting that up, getting that kid on his feet, making sure he's okay, that sends a message to that kid of you know, there are good people in the world. And he's more likely to seek that out.
Yeah.
And as much as that, you know, they're the kids who walk through our door, who want to be better and don't want to be the bully, or to be bullied. I was always a fat kid. God, I'm not going to tell a sob story. We've all been bullied for something. But it's that ability to go that when things get that bad, you know, that kid could have died.
Yeah. No, well, it could be, can it? If they're getting jumped all over.
Also, with this, it's like it's spreading the word about that as well. Like, what for these kids that don't know where we are, like it's just trying to get that word out to say, like, we are here for you. And it's not only kids, like it's adults as well. Bullying happens in a workplace. Do you know what I mean? Just a vulnerable person walk into the shop. It happens no matter what age you are. It can happen to you. So it's just letting people, trying to get the word out there, who we are and what we stand for. Do you know what I mean? We're not a club that someone walks in and gets pushed around. We won't have it. So,
well, there's another thing that came tonight, which I don't know if you guys know about, because I didn't. I mean, I stopped watching the news because obviously all the COVID stuff on there.
Bad news.
Oh, it's you know, it gets you, doesn't it? So anyway, the little James, right?
Yeah.
He was on the BBC News.
About his dad, wasn't it? His dad had a seizure.
I didn't. Yeah, his dad had a seizure, and him and his brother saved his dad's life.
Amazing.
I mean, awesome. Like I was thinking one of the things that, like when you said about worky, was that being under pressure, being in crisis, and having to face that gets you past these like this, the stall or any sort of form of
And
hesitation.
any situation,
Get on
isn't
it,
it?
don't you? Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
if you see someone injured and like that, it's your fight or flight response is you're always ready to fight it, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like try and help somebody rather than panic and be stood out the way. You're usually the person that take control of the situation and like you phone so and so, you do this, you do that, I got this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think it helps you in all aspects of life, definitely.
Yeah.
That's where people get it wrong as well, though. Like they think they see KUDO, and I think the bigger picture people need to realize is we're not teaching you to be the Karate Kid. You aren't going to fight 10 blokes.
No.
But it's like when we train, people don't see what happens, do they? But like in a drill, you'll have someone screaming and swearing at you, and it's meant to trigger you, and it's meant to be a pressure as much verbally as it is physically. And you know, simulating that in that environment makes people, like Kieran said, under that pressure, you know, simple acts. Like if someone's being aggressive towards you, you can sometimes stop a fight by being aggressive or even a passive gesture. Listen, mate, we're not looking for that. You know, I didn't mean that. Come on, let's just get him on his way. You know, you've done him over. Off you go. You haven't always got to be the aggressor. You haven't always got to fight.
Yeah. Well, I've done martial arts since I was a tot, and
Untitled Chapter with Lee Costa.
No, I wasn't going to drop the bombshell, but like you said,
I'm having it every time now.
yes, but one thing that's one thing he's always taught me is that I've always been able to get myself out of a situation rather than have to be stuck in it. So yeah, that's definitely true.
Self-confidence and self-belief it gives you.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Kieran used to bully me in school.
He used to bully me as well. I didn't go to the same school as him.
Cut that.
Take that out, yeah. This was the previous Kieran. First generation Kieran.
If we're name dropping, Steve used to teach me judo.
Well, actually, this is what I was gonna say to you now. That like, and with all due respect, Lauren, and I'm sure you got it in the bag that to do the things that you're doing, you gotta portray a self-belief that's a little bit beyond what you have internally. And like I was talking to the kids that we were teaching today with AJ about understanding that, you know, it's okay to realize that you're human, but we all want somebody there clapping at the end. There's no point in doing challenges if you haven't got someone going, well done, and someone meaningful. I mean, I might be the person that you live with or whatever, but like I think it's just like Steve has talked to me about when you train together, right? So Steve, what do you reckon? Your verdict on Lawrence? How do you reckon he's going to get through this?
Oh God.
Well, so me and Lawrence used to train early in the mornings. I used to take him at the dojo, and we used to do sort of workouts and that. And yeah, there was a time where he just went to throw up in the toilet because of it, like, and seeing how far he's got now, you know, I think I applaud you, mate. Like, but it's all about keeping going, like. But yeah, no, it's I got a tear.
He's come so far.
No,
Hang on, I got to switch screens. I need to see the tear.
I'm got big enough screen, Ben.
Yeah,
That'll be in it, mate, to see that.
Yeah, there's I think he's doing incredible, like, for from those many years like ago.
no, I appreciate that, and you know what, he's not wrong, but it's one of those, like you say, about having people around you.
Yeah.
Like Steve invested his time and energy. When I was in the judo club, you know, we had other clubs come down to train with us.
Yeah.
But on the whole, like, Steve trained me the most out of the majority of them.
Yeah.
So when he offered me additional training, which for me was his time as well. And although he was training as well, he was putting in the effort of, you know, if you want to come down, and I'll never shy away from anything. I'm not the fittest, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the hardest.
Yeah.
But like, if someone invests in me, I'll never turn it down. And ultimately, that's what I saw with yourself, Mal. When I came to KUDO, I saw what you did for Kieran, if he doesn't mind me saying.
No.
Like he was very much.
You give me some credit, Kieran. I got some credit. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's why everyone else is here. It's like I see AJ's nodding his head. You've known AJ since he was a little kid.
Yeah.
And he's become an awesome man. Like everyone who knows him fucking loves him. He doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it means something.
Yeah,
You've got Carl. Carl's
Right, let's
exactly
all
the
have a
same.
cry together. Can't wait.
No,
Right,
it's true.
before this becomes about it, Lawrence, because I know what you're doing with this, my friend. We're not like this, not happening. It ain't coming on me, right? So this, I'm gonna, from my point of view, guys, and if everybody else can follow me with this, because this is about Lawrence, and he's got to get through this, right? Being an older guy in the group, okay, and from doing these things before, and being one of the most stubborn, pig-headed, whatever. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, right? And it's taking its toll. It has taken its toll on parts of the body. My energy systems, I know they're not as good as they used to. I depleted that, whether it's psychologically or what, you know, but they're physical injuries. Now, you know, I want you to know, and I know that you can do it. That's not ifs or buts about that. But we want you at the other side of this. Do you know what I mean? To be in good shape. And like you told me that you wanted to focus on the running and doing those things because you could spend more time with your family. So my advice to you, my friend, is that keep yourself in good nick. You know, get through it. If you needed to stop because you know there's an injury, don't make it worse. And think that, you know, it's quality of life, isn't it? Who wants to go next? Okay, that was awkward.
Yeah, no, I'll same again. I've done great. Like you're gonna smash it, mate. But I say exactly the same thing. I used to do a lot of running, and that my knees are knackered now, like from it. But you just keep going, but like if you do need to stop or walk it, like, you know, we're all there like at the other end to cheer you on, and I like.
I appreciate it. We're doing it.
Yeah. Well, who's next? Who's next?
What?
Someone give him a bit of advice. Me and Steve have gone. Someone else now.
Leave the old dogs to it. Leave the old dogs. We're doing it together. And like for me,
No,
like
he's
you said,
filling the gap. He's filling the gap.
I am.
Advice. Right, AJ, you're on.
All right. Okay. Here we go. What I say, mate, is literally just pace yourself. Do you know what I mean? Don't think so much about it. Like even the little bits of like, oh, it's only another like 4 mile. Like, don't even think about that. Just switch your mind off completely, and just let your body take over. And you should you will finish it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And just keep positive. And I gotta thank you as well, because like what you're doing and putting yourself through is like not many people would. Do you know what I mean? It's like half of the I wouldn't even do it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm all right at running. I just wouldn't want to do it. So thank you, mate.
He likes his sleep.
Yeah.
All I
Thank
can
you.
say, Law, is just enjoy it. And if you're feeling like shit and I've got energy, I'll be there to try and put a smile on your face.
I've no doubt, mate. I've no doubt.
And Kieran went next then because he doesn't like all this emotional intelligence stuff.
Neither do I. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, it's starting to make him well up a little bit. So we'll just get past this quick. We think someone's going to get a guitar.
Wait there, Jake. What you call me?
Come on, Carl, you're next.
Like I say, is I believe in you. You've got the mental fortitude, you've got the belief in yourself, and you've got the the want to do it. So I think you're going to smash it. What I don't want you to do is let your ego get in the way. I know this sounds a bit negative here, but your ego sometimes will make you think you can do something you can't do. So don't let it get the better of you. Don't push yourself so far that you end up breaking yourself and you're out for months because of it. If you have to walk, walk it. Forward momentum is still forward momentum. As long as you keep going forward, you do it at a 5 mile pace, you do it at a 20 mile pace. It makes no difference. You're still doing it.
Yeah. Come on, Ben.
Pretty similar to Carl, to be fair, and AJ. I'll just sort of build on that. I'd say, mate, just feel your body and do a pace that's right for you. And don't look at people like AJ and think, you need to be like that. Don't even look at somebody like me and try to keep you know, at the end of the day, you've got to do what's right for your body, and everybody runs at a different pace from every, you know, half a stone in running is huge. So everyone's weight will affect how fast you go. Do what's right for you. And again, you know, if there is any injuries, I know especially from running, a lot of shin problems, ankle problems. If something, you know, does happen, there's absolutely no shame in slowing the pace and just making sure you get to the end. But don't overdo it to the point if you get a 4-month injury, because you'll only regret that, like everybody says. But mate, you can do it. Of course you can. You're a strong-minded person. I've got so much respect for you for doing this. And I just wish you the best of luck. And I'm looking forward to starting with you at 4 a.m, mate. So all the best.
Just to cap, right? No, at the end of the day, you ain't gonna listen to any single one of us of what we just said. You've made up your own mind what you can and what you can't do. But what I'm asking you to understand is that each person in their group, when people choose challenges like I've done in the past, I've disconnected from myself from people, because at the end of the day, I know it's only gonna be me versus me on the day, right? But I'm asking you not to do that, because you could have chose to do this for anyone. You chose to do it for the club. So because you're doing it for the club, you've got to take, like, every one of us sounded like a member of your family, probably. Do you know what I mean? It's like, don't do that. Do this.
My dad just went, good luck here.
Yeah.
He's like AJ, man of many words.
So, you know, you got it, because you're thinking of bigger things. You know, you're thinking of the ultras and all the rest of it, and I'm sure you'll get there. But remember that you were saying about, like, this as a group, that, you know, we are very much part of this to support you, and when we believe in that. And if you disconnect from that, it kind of changes the whole, you know, the whole feel for it. We're going to be there for you all the way through anyway. We're giving guys a big horse. All the best then, guys. Ben, I'll see you in a couple of hours when you know, we head up there in
No worries,
a
mate.
very legal way. And,
What time are you coming?
we'll be coming up 20 to 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll probably leave the house literally about 5 to 4, something like that.
Yeah, we'll be there about 22, and you know, and guys, thanks for the effort that you put in on the coastal challenge and the rest of it. I'm going to be putting all the photographs up and everything with the kids. We need to really shout this as loud as we can for Lawrence to make sure that he's fully supported by everybody in the club.
Yeah.
And you know, again, it's not about rinsing people for money. This is more about awareness and making sure people understand what the message of the club is.
I don't like the me thing. I'm not going to lie.
Well, tough.
Yeah, I know. I don't like it.
You're the one doing it, right? And each
You
person
chose
said
to
they're
do
not
it.
gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would have done this in darkness and finished it on my own and just walked through the door. And
No,
like,
you wouldn't have,
done.
because you said to me, shall I do this for the club? You said to me, shall I? So that was in your head, not in
I
anyone
inherited
else's.
you all.
Right, everyone
Right.
finished. I need to eat.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. All right. See you on the ice. See you later.
No,
Cheers, man.
Us.